Welcome back to Paralogic.com's Grow Your Knowledge series. You with us?
All right, today we're diving into Bitcoin options expiry.
Exciting stuff.
It is. Well, it might sound a bit technical, but honestly, this stuff really impacts the Bitcoin market.
Yeah, no, for sure. Even if you're not like a day trader glued to the charts, this helps explain why Bitcoin sometimes just goes crazy, those big swings.
Absolutely. And a quick reminder before we get into it. This is not financial advice, folks. We're here to learn, but do your own research before making any investment decisions.
Can't stress that enough.
Oh, and while you're at it, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future deep dives. All right, let's simplify this whole options thing.
Okay, so imagine, right, you want to buy a car,
Right.
fancy car, dream car, but you want today's price locked in.
Okay, got it.
Bitcoin options are kind of like reserving that car. You get the right to buy it at that price, but you don't have to.
Like, I'm not committed, but I've got the option. Exactly. And you pay a small fee for that rate. That's called the premium. Think of it like a reservation fee.
Okay, makes sense. So like any reservation, there's got to be a deadline, right?
Exactly. That's the expiry date. And this is where it gets interesting.
Now lay it on me.
Okay, let's say you reserve Bitcoin at, I don't know, $100,000, right? Expiry date rolls around, Bitcoin's now at $120,000.
Twice.
Your option is in the money. You can buy at your reserved price, that $100,000, and immediately sell for $120,000 profit.
Sweet deal. But what if it goes the other way? Bitcoin tanks, it's at like $80,000 on expiry day.
Then your option is out of the money.
Yeah.
You lose that small premium you paid, but hey, you're not forced to buy at that higher price anymore.
So I'm out a little bit, but dodged a bullet.
Exactly. Like, you didn't buy the car because you found a better deal elsewhere.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. But this isn't just about me winning or losing, right? This impacts the whole Bitcoin market because tons of these reservations are expiring at the same time, yeah.
That is exactly right. Think of it like thousands of people suddenly deciding to buy or sell Bitcoin, all based on these expiring options.
Whoa, that's got to cause some serious market movement.
Oh, absolutely. A huge surge of activity. Depending on which way everyone jumps, it can be like a massive wave hitting the market, prices going up, down all over the place.
Okay, that explains those wild price swings around expiry dates. So how do we make sense of this chaos? Can we predict which way it'll go?
Well, traders watch something called open interest. It's basically how many of those options contracts are still out there waiting to be settled.
Got it. So high open interest means lots of people on the edge of their seats.
Kind of. It's like a measure of how much anticipation, how much tension is built up around a certain price level. And here's the thing. High open interest can actually pull the price towards it, like a magnet.
Really? So if enough people have options around, say, $150,000, Bitcoin's more likely to head there.
Exactly. It's called the pinning effect. And it's one of the reasons why this whole options expiry thing is so crucial to understand, even if you never trade them yourself.
Okay, so this pinning effect, does that happen with every single expiry date? Or does it depend on, I don't know, the specific date and what's going on in the market?
You're thinking like a pro now. That's a great question, and it leads us to a very specific expiry date, December 27th, 2024.
Ooh, yeah, I remember that one. That's like the big one from those articles, right?
Yeah.
What's so special about it?
Okay, so get this. We've got reduced open interest compared to previous expirations, but Bitcoin is also trading at a very high price, a combo we haven't seen before, which could lead to some really interesting outcomes.
Wait, hold on, back up. Reduced open interest. I thought high open interest usually meant things would get crazy big price swings.
Usually, yes, but remember, context is key. The market's already rallied like crazy, pushing Bitcoin way above $100,000.
True, it's been wild.
Right, so that probably triggered a bunch of early option exercises, people cashing in early closing positions, meaning less open interest hanging over the market on December 27th.
Okay. So the market's calmer than usual going into this expiry. Is that good, bad?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It doesn't necessarily mean things won't get volatile. In fact, this reduced open interest, PLUS, the current high price, could actually make things more unpredictable.
Now, wait a minute. Less open interest, usually that means less chance of those big price swings, right?
You'd think so, but this is where it gets tricky. Imagine, right, the market's like a tightrope walker, and right now, that rope is stretched thin Fewer options contracts in play, less room for error.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Any little gust of wind, like say a sudden shift in how people feel, or a huge buy or sell order could cause a much bigger wobble than usual.
Ah, so less cushion to absorb those shocks.
Exactly. And Bitcoin being so high already, even a small wobble on that tightrope could mean a huge E-price move up or down.
So it's like the market IS primed for a big move. We just don't know which way it's going to go.
Nailed it. That's what makes this December 27th expiry so fascinating and, well, potentially risky.
Wow, okay. Definitely something to watch closely as we get closer. 'Cause this is getting me a little nervous just thinking about it.
Understandably. But hey, that's why we're doing this deep dive, right? Knowledge is power,
Yeah.
especially in the crypto world. Yeah, it's like
Yay.
the whole market's holding its breath, waiting to see what happens.
Right, like will this expiry be a nothing burger, or is it going to be the thing that sets off the next, like, massive Bitcoin move?
Well, one possibility is, with less open interest, maybe eyes a relatively calm expiry. The market just kind of glides through it.
So all this build up, all this talk, and it could just fizzle out. That's kind of anticlimactic.
Happens sometimes. But then again, crypto loves to surprise us, right?
Mhm.
Another scenario is, even with less open interest, that bullish sentiment, all those people who think Bitcoin's only going up, that could push buyers to drive the price even higher before expiry.
So like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing. People expect fireworks, they jump in, and that creates the fireworks.
Bingo. And that could push Bitcoin towards those key price levels where the remaining options are clustered, those magnets we talked about.
Okay, so up is possible. But what about the other direction? Could this expiry, like, trigger a correction? Everyone suddenly gets scared and bails.
Oh, definitely possible. If the mood shifts, if traders start feeling like, uh-oh, downturn coming, this expiry could make that move happen faster.
How so?
People rushing to close their positions, selling off, pushing the price down even further, like a snowball effect.
So we're in this weird spot where the usual signs, they're not as reliable, and this reduced open interest is making things even more unpredictable. Man, this is a nail-biter.
It is, and that just shows how important it is to stay informed, to understand how these market mechanics actually work, even if you're not trading options yourself.
For sure. So let me recap for our listeners. We've got December 27th coming up, big expiry date. Normally, lots of open interest equals volatility, but this time, it's the opposite. Reduced open interest, but Bitcoin's at a really high price. That creates a different kind of risk, yeah. Like, the market's ready to jump, we just don't know which way.
Perfect summary. And it really emphasizes that context is everything in crypto. There's no simple rule book. You got to understand the specifics of what's happening.
Absolutely. Now, I bet some of our listeners are thinking, okay, interesting, but how does this actually HLLP me?
Yeah.
I'm not a pro trader. What am I supposed to do with this info?
Great question. First off, just being aware of these expiry dates, knowing they can cause volatility, that helps you manage your expectations.
Okay, so if I see Bitcoin suddenly spike or drop around that time, I know it might not be because of some big news story. It could just be the options market doing its thing.
Exactly. Helps you avoid making impulsive decisions, getting caught up in the hype or panicking and selling.
That's actually really useful, like a defense against FOMO and all that emotional trading stuff.
It is. And it also shows how important it is to, do your own research, really understand the stuff that moves Bitcoin's price. Options expiry is just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a big in.
Starting to see the bigger picture now. But let's get back to December 27th specifically. What should our listeners actually be looking for as we get closer? What are the signs that might tell us which way the market's leaning?
All right, so pay close attention to the price action in those days leading up to expiry. Is Bitcoin trending up, still bullish, or is it pulling back, maybe showing some weakness?
Price trends, got it. What else?
Keep an eye on trading volume, too. If it suddenly spikes, that could mean traders are getting in position for a big move. They're anticipating something.
Okay, price trends, volume. Anything else?
Sentiment indicators can be helpful. What are people saying online, social media, analysts? Are they predicting a boom or a bust? While sentiment isn't always right, it gives you a feel for the overall mood.
Yeah, sentiment's powerful. Like that saying, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent.
Exactly. And don't forget those key price levels where a lot of options are clustered. Those can act like magnets, either pulling Bitcoin towards them or creating resistance. Watch how the price behaves around those points.
Man, this is like detective work, looking for clues in the market.
It is. And the more you understand how options work, the better you'll get at reading those clues.
Okay, open interest, timing, sentiment, price levels. Got it. This is seriously helpful stuff. Feels like we're getting a real behind-the-scenes look at the market.
That's what these deep dives are all about, giving you the knowledge to navigate the crypto world with more confidence.
Couldn't agree more. Any resources or tools you recommend for folks who want to dig even deeper into all this?
Oh yeah, tons. Most crypto exchanges have calendars for upcoming options expiry dates. And there are websites that track open interest across different exchanges. A little Googling will go a long way.
Awesome. We'll include some links in the show notes for everyone. All right, I think we've covered a ton today. We demystified Bitcoin options expiry, talked about the unique situation with December 27th, and even gave some practical tips for navigating this potentially wild period.
Absolutely. And just remember, the crypto world's always changing, so never stop learning, never stop exploring.
So, we keep talking about how this December 27th expiry could be a big deal, could be volatile, but stepping back for a second, why doesn't Bitcoin just crash every time there's a big expiry? Seems like it'd be chaos all the time.
Yeah, good point. It's a question a lot of people have, and it gets to how the market actually balances itself out. Remember, with options, there's always two sides. For every trader betting on Bitcoin going UP, there's someone else betting it's going down.
Ah, so it's kind of like a built-in system of checks and balances.
You could say that, and also, these expiry dates aren't a surprise. Traders know they're coming, so they factor that into their plans. So that anticipation, everyone adjusting, can smooth out some of the potential volatility.
So it's not like this sudden shock to the system. It's a known event that at least some people are ready for.
Exactly. But, that doesn't mean things always go perfectly to plan. Market can still throw curveballs, especially when you have, unique circumstances like we're seeing with December 27th.
Right, because we've got this low open interest, EFT, Bitcoin's price is high. That's not the usual combo.
Exactly. And that brings up another good question. How can you tell if a big price move is because of options expiry or something else happening in the market? It can be tough to separate those things.
Like a crypto mystery. Got to find the real culprit.
Haha. Yeah. So pay close attention to open interest and when that price move happens. If it's right around a big expiry date, A&D open interest changes a lot at the same time. Good chance options are involved.
Okay, detective work. Got to look for the clues, see if options are messing with the market.
Exactly. And the more you learn about options, the easier it gets to spot those clues.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the numbers,
Right, because sentiment matters too, right? Is everyone super optimistic or are they freaking out?
Exactly. Overall market sentiment is a big piece. Are people feeling bullish or bearish? Any big news events that could be affecting price? Considering all that helps you figure out, is this move really about options expiry or is something else driving it?
Right, got to see the full picture, the context, like you always say.
100%. So to wrap things up, I think the key takeaway here is understanding these expiry dates, how they work, can give you a real edge, even if you never trade a single option yourself.
For sure. It's like knowing this stuff helps you make smarter decisions overall, whether you're buying, selling, or just HO dealing.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, especially in crypto. So keep learning, do your research, and as always, be careful out there.
Couldn't agree more. Big thanks to you for breaking all this down for us. And to our awesome listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Bitcoin options expiry. We'll catch you next time for another exciting episode.